This motivational speech is to Suncor Energy, Encana Corporation, Syncrude Canada, and other oil and gas companies. Oil prices are low these days. The NDP is in charge provincially now. The Liberals are set to rule across the land for years, and the border is a barrier that no oil baron is likely to cross unless blue collars and rednecks make themselves heard politically. For this to happen, grassroots workers need to be fired up. And for this to happen, some compelling media that they will want to pay attention to are necessary. For a long time, I've wondered why social conservatives in general, and oil and gas companies in particular, are always on the defensive. We don't have to be. There is no law that says we have to be timid and silent while our ambitions and objectives are being obstructed. The offensive maneuver has been an option all along. My speech is a brief one, so keep reading or listening. I have no skin in this game, and I'm not asking for any personal favors. I am an Albertan, and I am concerned about the way things are going. I am a conservative Christian who believes in capitalism, free speech, life, work, family, and the right to convey biblical truth without being persecuted for doing so. Since the Bible supports capitalism, free speech, life, work, family, and preaching, we have all the reason we need to promote moral, prosperous families through the industry that a capitalist ethic generates. You oil and gas companies have walked on eggshells long enough. You've been afraid to speak up and to speak out long enough. You've held your tongues long enough. This fearful approach, if we may even call it an approach, has done you little good. It will do you great harm to continue like that. When Tim Hortons struck you on the cheek, you turned the other as if that was a good application of a Bible verse. Turning the other cheek to receive another slap is one thing, but doing so when your workers and supporters feel the sting is another. It seems to me that it was left to rebel media both to come to your defense and then to launch an offensive on your trembling behalf. I do not work for rebel media. I have been following rebel media's YouTube channel for a few months now and have been astonished at what that upstart effort has been able to accomplish with almost no capital. Rebel media's bullhorn is what, I believe, made the Alberta NDP back off the salary hike they'd planned to give themselves, for instance. Oil and gas companies have capital. What they lack these days is bold character. Imagine what you guys could do with a little media engine of your own. I'm not asking for a job. I'm not asking you to support rebel media. I'm not asking you to hire anyone at rebel media. I am giving you oil and gas companies a much-needed motivational speech. You must, for your own sakes and for the sakes of those who love industry more than government, begin to take an offensive stance, and to kick yourselves every time you begin to feel ashamed for doing so. Your media apathy is one reason why the NDP is in charge of this province. Smarten up, boys. Socialism, my friends, is not good for anyone. It's not biblical, it's not moral, it's not progressive, it's not profitable, and it's sweeping the land, even the land of Alberta, where the oil and gas reserves are. You have the money. Rally then, troops. Get yourselves a conservative media team and put your offensive line in the game. Oppose Marxist tendencies. Promote enterprise. Get back some of your fortitude and dignity while you do it. If you feel inclined to take my advice, be cautious about who you select to run your media appliances. Do not be thinking along the lines of turncoats like Preston Manning and Danielle Smith, for example. Dig into the matter of selection with as much zeal and caution as you dig into the earth, for you must find people who will carry your vision forward in such a manner as to not undermine your cause behind your back. The oil and gas sector is big enough and influential enough to resist being bullied into hesitation, undeserved shame, and finally into submission, which is what the socialist agenda means to effect. But where is your will? If the LGBT crowd can be brazen enough to push their sins into public for everyone to unqualifiedly accept, then you oil and gas tycoons should be forward enough to put your views out there without apology and with swagger. Think along the lines of Dallas, the 1980s drama. The Ewing family was not prudish about wealth that was made through hard work. This has been a puritanical opinion on what the Alberta oil and gas sector needs to do in the face of our present-day socialist realities.